Okay, so it's a 2014 Ram Promaster. It's a extended version with a high roof. We're just going to go around the outside and get some details of the outside before we move inside. We got leveling jacks on all four corners. They're 5,000-pound leveling jacks. So whenever you're parked, you can level the van. And then moving around to the front, it's got the Ducati 4-cylinder eco diesel motor in it. The vehicle currently has 76,000 miles on it, but at 54,000 miles, Chrysler put a new motor in it. It was a brand new crate motor because there was a recall on the globe plug. They had a globe plug issue. So like I said, 54,000 miles, Chrysler put a brand new crate motor in it. So realistically, the motor only has about 15,000 miles on it. Going around to this side, you got the exhaust for the Suburban propane heat that's inside. Moving on around, you got the plug-in for the 30 amp shore power, so you can get 30 amp shore power. Up here is exhaust to vent out the heat for the refrigerator inside. Moving on around, like I say, there's leveling jacks on all four corners. You got brand new tires that only have about 15,000 miles on it, if that. Moving on around to the back, you got a 5,000-pound Perch hitch. And then you also have the 7 and 4 plug for power. And then moving up to the top, you have a backup camera, and then you have some LED backup lights. As we move around to the side here, you got a Fiamma F65 awning that's almost 12 foot long, and it cranks out 8 feet wide. So it's going to provide plenty of shade. And then there's also a rain guard up there to where if it rains, it's not going to drip down the side of the van whenever it's raining. And then we got a freshwater fill. So we have a 20-gallon freshwater tank inside. So you can fill your 20-gallon tank here, or if you're camping, you can plug into your water outlet here and just have on-demand water, full water. Then also on the underneath, there's a 10-gallon propane tank. So you're going to have 10 gallons of propane to supply the heater. Moving inside, we have a table here that folds down, and it's 2 different heights. You can move it up here to have a second height. You have USB plug-ins here, 12 volt, and also 110 right here at the side of the coach. You got a screen here that'll roll across, and it's a magnetic screen in the middle. So it'll just unfold, go across here, and Velcro down the side. And then you've got a screen to keep bugs out. Going inside, you have a handle here that's anchored to the chassis. Kind of had to be strategic about this because there is airbags on the side here. So this is a strap that's attached to the frame to where you can grab the strap to get up inside. We also got a tap light here. So if it's at night and you enter the van at night, you just tap that light and you'll have some light as you enter the van at night. Inside, we have blinds. These are thermal blinds that cover all the windows. So if you're parked at night, it's going to create a lot of privacy and also block a lot of heat. We also have a backup camera besides the backup camera that comes with the van from the factory. So it kind of gives you 2 different angles as far as when you're backing up. I added a little extra table for if you want to set anything there. You got cup holders down below. The passenger seat is set up to swivel. So the passenger seat will swivel, give you extra seating for the inside of the van. And then this is another thermal blanket that'll roll down to give you more privacy and also keep more of the heat from the inside cab down. We have an extra table here, extra counter to make it longer. So that adds on to the counter space. And then whenever I designed this, I designed it to where if you're inside and you have this up, you can still pass through the van without this blocking your entry. To where if you need to get in and out, you don't have to fold this back down. And then it folds down real easy. There's a couple levers here. You just squeeze them and then it goes right back down. We have a sink. It's got a sure flow pump, and then we have 20 gallons of fresh water. The freshwater tank is on the inside here, so you can see the level of the fresh water on the tank there. Or there's also a side monitor, side cutout here, to where you can view the water level on the side there. And then underneath of the van is a 20-gallon gray tank. So you have capability of holding 20 gallons of fresh water, and then a 20-gallon gray tank that's mounted underneath of the van. Then for your cooking, we have a induction stovetop. You're not a slave to propane here. It's an induction stovetop. And then as far as lighting, all the lighting is LED and they're all on dimmers. So you have dimming lights. And then moving up here, we enclose this so it kind of makes it a dressed up enclosure for your storage up here. There's a lot of overhead storage up here, so you can slide this either way. And as you can see, it goes way back in there. So it provides a lot of storage. Another storage here. And then back here, there's just a little hanging storage. We like to keep wet wipes here, whatever. You got a fire extinguisher on board. And then that's usually where we keep our trash can. You do have power back in here, to where if we've ever been camping in cold climates and we have access to power, what I do is I slide this little shelf out, and then I have a little electric heater that I set right here to direct the heat to the back. Then this is your Suburban heater, and it's also controlled off of a thermostat. It's thermostat controlled, so you can just set the temperature and that Suburban heater will come on whatever you set the temperature for. Temperature and humidity gauge. This is a Titan exhaust fan, which is blowing the hot air from behind the refrigerator outside, which is the vent on the side of the van I showed you about. We have a Magnum inverter, and then we have a Renogy solar control. And the Magnum inverter is a 2,000 watt inverter. So you merely push that button and it's going to power up all your 110 outlets, which is pulled off of the batteries. I'm not going to get into a whole lot about that. I'm sure a lot of people already know about that. On the roof, we have a 13.5 BTU Coleman air conditioner. All right, this is a Nordic Refrigerator. It's a good size refrigerator for a van. It's a big freezer, and then you got a lot of refrigerator space as well. And that's strictly 12 volt, runs off of the batteries. One thing I didn't say about the batteries is in the floor is where the Ford Trojan batteries are mounted. There's a custom tray that holds those batteries that are mounted underneath the van. So when you need to get to those batteries or service the batteries, you just merely pull this one-piece vinyl back and you can have access to the batteries. I like to call this the his and hers closet. So this is one closet. This is another closet. It's a little bit bigger, so that's why I like to call it the hers. You got space over here for hanging clothes. And then on the roof, you also have a wind guard antenna, and then this is going to crank up your antenna right here. As far as these controls, this is a gauge for the propane. So you flip that switch and it'll show you the level of your propane. So it's on a switch to where it's not constantly draining your batteries. And then this is just a second voltage meter for your batteries, which kind of offsets, accommodating what you got going on up here. And then there's USB plug-ins here. And then there's another fuel gauge here. If you ever mount a generator to the back, you can run that'll gauge for your fuel tank on the back. And then this other is a LED lighting, which lights up all your closets. And then it also adds for a little LED lighting at night. So it's just a soft light for at night if you don't want a bunch of bright light. And then as you can see, it runs through all the cabinets, so it gives you some light at night. This down here is also lit up, and we like to call this the shoe cubby because we keep all our shoes in there. You know, it's kind of like just coming into the van, in and out. That's where we used to throw all our shoes. For the CO2, we got a CO2 carbon detector. So if you ever have a carbon leak, it's going to alarm and let you know. And then I like to have a backup to it, so I have a second CO2 monitor. And then this is your breaker panel for your 110 and then your 12 volt. And then this is designed to where if you're plugged into shore power, it'll transfer your 110 over to your 12 volt. Anything controlled by 12 volts, so it's not drawing off of your battery. This is a silverware drawer, so that's kind of handy for your silverware. All the cabinets are on locking mechanisms, drawers, all the doors, to where if you're traveling, they're not going to slide open. And then these two drawers, I like to call them our pantry drawers, because this is just kind of where we keep all our dry goods. And then this is a little bit bigger drawer. You got another storage in here. And then in here is where the Magnum Inverter is. It's a 2,000 watt Magnum Inverter, pure sine. And then you got all your fuses and your power switch right here to where you can totally shut off all the power to everything. You got another storage right here. It's where we always like to keep our toilet paper. Another big storage here. This is pretty much where we used to store all our water, because you know, we don't drink water from the gray tank or the freshwater tank. We always carry water with us. As far as the upper cabinets, you got more storage up here. And you got a spice rack here for all your spices. This right here is where we used to keep our oils and stuff like that when we're cooking, spray oils, what have you. Then under here, you got more storage. There's lots of storage in this van. Everything was thought out to where it gave you a lot of storage, kind of took up all the little space you could for storage. I keep a toaster oven under here. I don't have an onboard microwave. I'm not a big fan of microwaves, and so I just mostly use that toaster oven or my induction stovetop. Then there's a little more storage under here. This is pretty much just where we always kept our cleaning goods. So moving to the back, we pretty much just consider this our living room area. You got a bench here, so two people can sit at the bench here. This is a TV. I got a cover on it right now, but the cover comes off real easy. This is a TV. You got a high def cable converter, which is connected to the antenna that I showed you in there, to where if you're parked anywhere, you can pull off of a local TV signal and get TV. or we have numerous cables to where if you want to hook it up to your computer or whatever, you can do so. On the side here, we also have 110 plug-ins. Then I have a power strip that gives me more plug-ins. You got USB plug-ins here. And then this is an on and off switch for your shore pump. And then this is a lot more storage up underneath here. So you can see you got a lot more storage. And then this is where your shore pump's gonna be. And then that's your 20-gallon freshwater tank. And then I got a couple hooks here, you know, depending on your needs, you can take those off. But what we used to do is rope off ropes for the dogs if we were traveling, to where they wouldn't try to get up front. So the dog leashes just kind of went through here and hooked off of this hook. If we're camping a lot, we like to have an extra cooler to put all our drinks in instead of loading up the refrigerator. So that's what this is for. And then also it will accommodate for scuba diving. You can put 2 scuba tanks here and then 2 scuba tanks here sideways. So if you're into scuba diving, you travel scuba diving, it'll accommodate 4 scuba tanks. This right here is a little table. It might be a little hokey, but it serves great purpose if you're here. And so there's a hole in the bench right here, right? And then you just poke this through the hole. And then this makes a great computer table. If you're here and you just want to be on your computer, it makes a great computer table. And then, you know, it's just easy in and out, take it off, get it out of your way. So it's a great little computer table. If you're sitting there, you want to be on your computer. And then I just simply store it right there. Then on this side, you have a lot more storage under here. So there's a good amount of storage in here, right? And then you got some lights here that are also on dimmers. You got more power right here. And then this is for your antenna for outside. I do have a table with a post that goes in there if you want a big table for in the middle, for if you're just dining or something. There is a table that'll go in there, and then it gives you a nice little table. But the table is also narrow enough to where it's designed to where if you want to get by the table, you can still get by the table. As far as the clearing here, you notice there's not a lot of ceiling height back here. But when we're back here, we're just mostly setting down anyways. And this is a unique setup for a lot of vans, because most people, they either have their bed set up or they have to fill in this middle, throw down a bunch of cushions, and make the bed. So the unique setup behind this van is you can just merely throw these cushions down, which is what we do. And then the bed is on a happy jack. So you just lower the bed, and that way when you go to bed, your bed is just always made. When it's time to go to bed, just lower the bed down and go to bed. There's not a bunch of fuss with making the bed. So I also have marks on the side here so you know how far to lower the bed. Right, so then your bed's already made at night. And the design behind this is you can still see your TV at night if you want to lay in bed and watch TV, if that's your thing. And then you got the Max fan, which it can run in the rain because it's got a guard on there to where if it's open, you can't get rain in there. Also, you got the Max Air controller to where when you turn that on, you can have the flow come in or out. You can actually open or close the vent. And then with this particular one, you can actually set the temperature at whatever temperature you want the van to come on. So if you're not in the van and you set it for 75 and it gets above 75 in here, the van will actually kick on automatically. Over here on the side is where is where I hang the fan. And then also I have a toothbrush holder over here, which is where we hold our toothbrushes, and a little hook for your toothpaste. It's just handy having it there because it's right by the sink. Also, you have an LED light up above the bed there you can turn on. And then on both sides, there's little lights that you can flip on for either side. If you flip it up, it shines up. If you flip it down, it shines down. Also, if you notice, everything is painted white to give you a nice clean look inside the van here. And then in the back, what I did to give some color is I used tapestry. I'm kind of into tapestry, so I used tapestry to kind of give you some color on the inside of the van, other than going with painting it different color. So we got a different tapestry here. We got a tapestry in the top. It's got the big peace sign. Another tapestry over here. Something I didn't point out over here is this also gives you a lot of storage right here. Okay, there's also a couple hooks right here, which is where I used to hook my trek poles for hiking. So you just hook your trek poles right there. There's hooks right here. I mean, there's a lot of versatility here for storage, for hook, for hanging stuff. I got hooks over here on this side. And then as far as the bed, it used to just have bolts here. But what I did is I took those bolts out and I did hooks. So like this is where we hook our backpacks. There's another hook here. So it just gives you more versatility. Like we would hook our backpacks here. You got other hooks over here. Another one here. So it gives you options to hang things back here. And then like when we would hang our backpacks back here and we would go to bed at night, we would just throw the backpacks down here on the floor and then lower the bed. Also, these are new cushions I just recently bought. And then these cushions also, they're designed to where you can just zip them off if you want to wash them. It's real simple to take the covers off if you need to wash them. But they are brand new cushions. And then something for this compartment here. If you need to get in here and you don't want to have to hold it up, what I did is I designed a little latch right there to where it'll keep that up for you. And then this is a bar for the Fiamme hitch, or the Fiamme awning. And then this is the crank handle for the Fiamme awning. Then here I have a bag hanging here. This is a great bag just for, what I use this for is my laundry. So this is my laundry bag. And it's just hanging here, right? So you can throw your dirty clothes in there. If it gets too full, you do have to bring it down when you lower the bed. But when it's time to go to the laundry, it's real convenient because you can just pull this off the hooks and then take this to the laundromat with you, right? And then it's just a nice bag that's out of the way to keep your dirty laundry in. Everything with this van, it's more about function and purpose. Like if you want frills and fluff, then go spend $120,000 and buy a Mercedes Sprinter. You know, if you want frills and fluff. This is all function and purpose with this van. Okay, then in the back here, maybe you've been wondering about the bathroom. Like, what do you do when you go to the bathroom? So what I have here is a composting toilet. You lift this up and then there's your composting toilet. You got the toilet paper here, composting toilet. I'm not going to get into a lot of detail about composting toilet. If you don't know about it, Google it, YouTube it, see what a composting toilet's all about. I got a little compartment here that holds the cocoa husk. And then this composting toilet I built myself off of some videos I saw on YouTube. You know, it's got your open there so you can see the levels when it gets full. And it's just real simple. Lid that flips up. I got a hook with a string. You know, nothing fancy, no frills. It hooks up enough to get out of your way, but still leaves me enough room for my laundry basket back there. And then what we do at night, you know, because in the middle of the night you may need to go to the bathroom and you may wonder, well, the bed's down, you can't get to the bathroom. So what we do is we pull the composting toilet out and we set it right here in the middle, right? So we set it here in the middle with the bed down, and then if you got to get up in the middle of the night, you just slide it out here to where you can use it, and then slide it back underneath the bed out of your way. It's real simple. Okay, so maybe you're wondering about the shower. So what we have here is on-demand hot water heater. So it's on-demand hot water from the propane. And that also gives you your hot water for up front at the sink. And then we'll go outside of the coach and I'll show you a little bit about that as well. One thing before we leave out, I want to show you something that's also designed to wear if you have pets. So also you have the blackout curtains, the thermal blackout curtains for the side. And it's real simple. You just roll these up. These are on magnets too, so when you roll it down, all the magnets stick to the metal. So normally, you know, when we're traveling or anytime, we just have these up. And when you want to go to bed at night and you want privacy, you just unclip these and roll it right down. There again, you know, if you want a fancy shade that rolls up and down, go buy a $120,000 Sprinter. This is function and purpose. As far as the vent, it's an awning type vent in this window with a screen, to where if you want ventilation at night with the fan running, you just crank that window open, and it's an awning type window to where if it's raining, it doesn't matter. You know, some windows have the slider glass, so if the glass slides and it rains, you're going to get rain inside. With this, you never get any rain. All right, so then one thing I wanted to show you here is if you have pets, if you have cats, dogs, anything, when you're traveling, they like to look out the window. So what I did is I designed a dog perch here. And I had to get strategic because when you open the door, you don't have a whole lot of clearance here. So when you open the door, you don't have a whole lot of clearance. So really all I could do is put that on a hinge. And then what I do is up here. There again, function and purpose. There's not a lot of frills here. Go buy a Mercedes. So this pole slides out, right? And it's got its own little home right there, right? So the pole slides out, the table lifts up, you got that screw, it screws into the bottom of the table. It's simple. There you go. You got a dog perch, cat perch. We travel with a dog. He loves getting up here and looking out the window. I mean, when dogs travel, they like to be able to see out windows. So that's just kind of a makeshift little dog perch, cat perch, whatever you want to call it. And that just slides back in there out of the way. So now we're going to go to the back. And I'm going to show you the outdoor shower. Okay, in addition to the front screen that you have on the side, if you're camping and you want to keep these doors open, and have a lot of ventilation, but you don't want the bugs, there's also a screen here that will roll down and cover the whole back of the van, to where with this screen down and the side screen on the side door, it totally encloses the van and you get a lot of ventilation through here, and you're not going to have to worry about the bugs. So there again, it's just simply on Velcro straps. You undo the straps, roll it down and snap it into the snaps. So usually when we're traveling, we'll just open these doors up and we just take a shower, you know, in our swimsuit, underwear, or whatever have you. So you would just roll this out, right? And you can stand out here and take a shower, right? Just rinse off. And then this is just on a trigger to where you're not wasting a whole lot of water. Anything you do in here, you got to conserve as much water as you can. So it's just on a trigger to where you can weight yourself down, set it down, lather up, then rinse yourself off. Right, and then we have the flexibility here. Say if you're at a campsite, you're camping for 2 or 3 days, you got a private campsite, you don't want to hassle with going to their shower. You can actually turn, I've designed this back door to where you can turn it into a private shower. So it's real simple. What I designed is, you got this latch up here, right? And you drop this door down, and it simply hooks into this other door. Then this will flip up like that, and then it gives you a platform for a shower area. And then you got a drain for the shower, and then all you simply got to do is you can pull your shower curtain across to keep water from getting inside. And then you simply take this, where it gives you privacy from this crack here. It's a little windy today, so bear with me. Alright, and then you do the same over here. There again, this is not something you're going to do just to take a shower. It's like if you're set up and you want to have a private outdoor shower. I mean, there again, it doesn't take that long, but if we're just traveling and we want to shower, we just stand outside and shower. So there's your shower set up. And what this does, to enclose the back area here, is this hooks across the back, and then you just simply undo these. Got little elastic bands around here, and then you just roll this down, and then everything just snaps in. And there you have it. You have an enclosed private shower outdoor area. Something I didn't mention is that the whole van is insulated with Insulate. The floor's been insulated. This back door gives you a little bit more storage, a lot of little cubby pockets. There again, it's all about function and purpose, not like fluff and frills. That's what you're going to get with this van. And then as far as I said, if you're into scuba diving and you're traveling with scuba tanks, you got 2 tanks that'll store back there, and then 2 that slide in here. So you got the capability of holding 4 scuba tanks. Okay, another thing that I wanted to mention is that as far as charging your batteries, I have 350 watts of solar on the roof that charges the 4 Trojan batteries. If anything, you might want to upgrade those to lithium batteries. So it's either going to charge 3 ways off of the solar if you're plugged into shore power, or I have a Sterling DC to DC onboard charger, which is going to charge your batteries as you're driving the van. As far as the 4-cylinder Eco diesel motor, around town you get about 17 miles to the gallon, and then on the highway, depending on your driving habit, you can get as much as 22 miles to the gallon. So there's not a whole lot of 1-ton vans. Like I say, this is the Ram 3500. So it's a 1-ton van, and out of a 1-ton van that's loaded down and decked out like it is, to get 22 miles to the gallon, you can do a lot of running around and traveling at 22 miles a gallon.